jump in real quick. Yeah, you brought up China. Hey guys, it's not the first time China started fudding. China FUDs all the time. Okay, they're the master fudders. That's what.
Here today with the one and only Dub Digital. If you look for cryptocurrencies with strong fundamentals, he's a YouTuber with very strong fundamentals, and I highly recommend you guys to check his channel out. He's doing a lot of streams there. I hope we can also stream together in the future. So yeah, man, first things first, thanks for taking the time, for jumping on here spontaneously today. Before we get into all your story and how you got into crypto, everybody wants to know, man, how far are we falling? We're in a free fall right now. Where's the bottom? Are we going to zero? What's going on right now?
Yeah, guys, we're not not financial advice. And by the way, before I start, hey, thanks for having me on the channel, man. Really appreciate it. Huge fan of your work and what you do. But as far as a free fall, yeah, this is a timely conversation because everything's tanking and my bags are bleeding. So I'm looking like probably around 27K for a BTC.
Yeah.
Reason I say that is because this moment in time reminds me of March of 2020. And that's when oil went negative. Pulled crypto down. Bitcoin went from what? Is it 10,000 to 3,000?
Yeah.
Believe so, yeah. So that was about a 63% decrease. I'm looking at something similar happening right now. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and we talked about this in our previous conversation just now. You know, it's like there's so many negative news that all come at once. And everybody, of course, now wants to explain, you know, what is the cause of the dump? You know, why are we dropping that much, you know? And we've had the Elon news, we had the Tesla news, we had now China news, the IRS, the US. What do you think? Is that a coordinated thing? Is that just coincidence, or what do you think is going on behind the scenes? What has caused the dump? What do you think?
Well, I mean, one thing I always tell my subscribers is crypto's a largely unregulated market.
Yeah.
You know, there's no governing bodies coming in here, stepping in, stopping dumps. There's no crash protection team like in the US. When it dumps, and when people put out information, maybe negative information, it could be coordinated. I'm not saying that it is, but I'm saying that it's possible, right? And you have to ask the question, why does everything come out at the same time from separate sovereign entities that supposedly don't talk to each other? That's a big coincidence. I don't know the probability of that, but it's probably not a high probability. So that's my answer to that.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, eventually we'll never figure it out. You know, it is what it is, and as a small retail investor, which is what we are, you can only stick to your game plan in situations like that, right? But it's really for those that are completely new to crypto, and I know there's a huge influx of new people, you know, that joined the space earlier this year or late last year. I think eventually we all have to go through this at least once, you know, and better sooner than later, you know, because the sooner you go through this and experience that, seeing your portfolio going down and bleeding out overnight, but still, you know, holding on strong because you believe in the fundamentals, right? I think it's also an ideological question. Like, do you really understand and believe in the technology, in the impact it has, right? And last time I've been on your channel, we talked a lot about interoperability. We talked a lot about, you know, macro things, you know, and it's really like, to me, sure, it hurts me to see that my value in my portfolio goes down, right?
You know,
yeah. So if you really zoom out of, you know, like not just the charts, but really like on a macro trend, wallets that are being generated, on-chain activities, right? All those like Glassnode metrics, you see that this technology is not going to go anywhere, right? Like it's just growing. The whole space is growing. The Web3 is here. And we're just building it right now, right? And there's a lot of volatility and uncertainty on the way. But before we continue talking about all these things, first, talk about how your journey in crypto started. I think you've been already in the space or heard about it for, I think, I don't know, 6-7 years, at least much longer than I have. So talk about your first days in crypto, also about the first kind of like cycles that you went through and what similarities maybe you're seeing to what we have now.
Sure. Yeah, man. I've been in crypto since 2013. That's when I picked up my first Bitcoin. And it was one of my friends approached me who was all into computers ever since I was like a little kid. He was modding Xboxes and making it play all kinds of system games and stuff. And I always regarded him as a pretty smart guy. I'm more like economics and like business. So he approached me and said, "Hey, there's this new money out there called Bitcoin. 21 million hard cap supply." And I was really attracted to like the hard money aspect of it because I was aware of like the degradation of the dollar, printing fiat money, debasing the currency kind of stuff. And I was like, "Oh, I like hard money." And I was also kind of like libertarian, right?
Mm.
Pro choice in terms of like it's my life kind of stuff, and a detached money from the government seemed like something that was in line with that. And then also he told me that there was like these parts called satoshis, right? A million satoshis. And I told him, "Hey, you could split this up a million ways," and he said yes. And I said, "What happens when they run out of Bitcoin?" And he says, "Well, there's no more going to be made." And I said, "Well, that's kind of like infinite money." And then he was like, "Yeah, that's kind of like infinite money." And I was like, "Yeah, put me down for some." And he hooked me up with my first Bitcoin. But I will say though, like throughout 2013, I was maturing as an investor as well. I wasn't any kind of aware at 2013. I just bought some Bitcoin,
Mm.
you know, and then I kind of forgot about it. I put it CD in my closet, right? Because there were no hardware wallets back there. It was like a Bitcoin Core, it was called, and you had to wait like a day or two to download the whole version of the blockchain. But as time went on, these products got more and more streamlined and simpler for someone who's not necessarily extremely technically inclined like me to be able to participate, like secure hardware storage, um, more streamlined, like Coinbase come online. Like people
Mm.
used to deal with Mount Gox, leave their stuff. You know how Mount Gox ended up. So like it got way risk. It was really risky in the beginning, and that's where most of the risk and reward was because it was risky. That's how you hear about people paying for what 30,000 Bitcoin for a pizza, all that stuff. But
Mhm.
as time went on, like I was like, okay, this is more than just a shot in the dark. This is every year, the years passing by, it's growing and growing and growing, and like businesses are coming into the fray. And then this is the real cycle where we see institutional adoption, where we see banks capitulating and actually buying Bitcoin. And
Mm.
a lot of people new to the space don't know that banks weren't always pro Bitcoin and celebrities weren't always pro Bitcoin. In fact, for most of Bitcoin's life, you were looked kind of down upon for owning Bitcoin. So that's the main difference I've seen throughout the time is people's sentiment on what Bitcoin and crypto are and how like legitimate they are.
Mm. Yeah, it's a good point. I think Jordan Belfort, the real Wolf of Wall Street, he's a good example because I think in 2017 he was really, really against it. He was really bashing against it. And I saw him tweeting about, was it Safe Moon or Shiba Inu the other day, like a week
Yeah.
ago? Like,
Hmm.
guys, what's going on here? I think we're really, really going mainstream right now on the institutional side, like you're saying, but also on the celebrity side, on the retail side as well. Whenever you see those kinds of things, obviously you could also see it as top signals, when this overexcitement kicks in. But you having gone through those cycles and knowing that there's a lot of new people joining the space now, what would be your number one advice for those people that are just brand new to the space? They probably started investing into crypto 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and probably are down 20, 30, 40, 50% with their portfolio right now. What would be your number one advice to them?
I would say know what you bought. Know what you bought. I mean, the reason I say TA and FA, which is technical analysis, charting, and fundamental analysis, which is like the underlying story and use case. The reason you need to know the FA and the fundamental analysis, not in the good times, it's for the times your bags are sinking and the market isn't agreeing with what you think the value is in your head. So like before you put money on something, do the research, dig into it, and don't listen to your friend on why they like it. Don't listen to us why we like it.
Mm,
Well, listen to all but follow none. You need to be sold on it because at the end of the day, you're the one holding these bags for who knows how long. So like that's gonna make that whole, I guess, uncertainty in investing easier to deal with because you're more certain about your decision.
yeah. And that's also a great transition because I also wanted to get down to your kind of YouTube career that has started I think around a year ago, half a year ago.
Hmm.
So talk about what you want to achieve with that, and how you started it, and how is the journey going so far. I think we started around a similar time with our channels.
Hmm.
And what I like about you is that you are very open minded. You know, you're not one of those um, picking a winner chain that's gonna eat up the competition and kind of like fanatic travel, you know, content creators out there, because we have a lot of them. We have enough of them, I guess. But so that's what I love about you. But how do you see yourself? You know, how what is your purpose with the channel? What do you want to achieve, and how is it going for you? How do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a great time doing the channel. It's been like a labor of love for me. I mean, I listen to stuff about crypto all the time anyway, so I just filmed it, and put it in a certain format over time. But as far as what I want to accomplish with the channel, I just saw like a lack of like a lot of channels that are tolerant to other coins. Like I saw there was abundance of like this is a XRP channel, this is a
Mm,
DigiByte channel, and I never understood. I never understood that. So I figured there were more people like me out there who didn't really have loyalty to any particular chain. We just kind of like crypto in general and different use cases for different coins. And it's proven that there is a demand for that, you
mm,
know. And the cool thing is, I have such an eclectic group over at my channel. I'm hearing all kinds of information that you wouldn't hear if you didn't subscribe to a, insert X coin channel.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just been a really cool place where people could kick back ideas. I'm open to listen to my subs. I learn stuff all the time. I have some pretty smart people in the group. And it's just kind of like you don't sharpen a knife against a pillow, right? You
Yeah.
sharpen a knife against something hard. And that's kind of like what I like to do at the channel.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. Yeah, I think we're pretty much aligned there. Even though I've gone down really, you know, the Cosmos rabbit hole now, and I'm creating a lot of content around them. But I'm also trying to mix it up with other projects. You know, I have a couple of interviews there, and just mix it up. I think there's just, I mean, the thing in crypto is there's so much going on. It's really hard to, you know, catch up with everything.
For
It's such
sure.
a fast growing space, and such a, you know, so many new things that are coming up. I mean, the whole NFT thing, you know, it completely blew up earlier this year, right? And plus DeFi, plus, you know, everything that's happening on Ethereum itself, and other chains as well.
Hmm.
So there's just so much going on there. But talk us through. So what is your strategy right now? I mean, you talked about advice for newbies, right? Know what you buy, know what you're investing in, right? And that's something I always also recommend to my viewers, is to really try to get behind the fundamentals of a coin, right? But what are you doing right now? Are you accumulating more? Are you just, you know, you have filled your bags and you're just chilling, or what is your strategy right now?
Yeah, I'll touch on that real quick, but I want to circle back really quick. Yeah, I'm not trying to put any channel down. I'm just saying that I totally use in-depth channels on chains, for my research. I kind of make a network and I listen to people. Yeah, right. That's just kind of like I just like being all over the place. That's just kind of who I am. But as far as strategy is concerned, um, I'm looking to accumulate
Mm,
more Bitcoin, right? I mean, because I said this reminds me of the 2020 March crash. If you go back on the chart, it dropped 50, 60%. I don't remember the exact number. We're kind of the structure looks almost the same. It's just larger in scale. I mean, you would expect that with more money in the space. So, what did we notice in the March 2020 crash? Bitcoin came down, went down like 3,000 bucks, and it was the first to recover.
mm,
You know, Bitcoin in hairy situations, the crypto market's bleeding. It's the digital gold for a reason. Largest market cap tends to lift up first. You can accumulate alts at the lower point, but from a relative value play, if Bitcoin drops less and lifts off first, wouldn't that mean that you could accumulate more alts using your Bitcoin later on?
mm.
So I'm just using history as like a template moving forward. There's always a chance it could be different this time, but I just don't like to plan on that.
Yeah, I like that analogy to the March crash last year, because I feel very similar about it, because as this dip gets nastier and nastier and we fall deeper and deeper, I think people are starting to actually capitulate and to actually
Mhm.
lose faith, you know. and to actually think that it is going to zero, or Bitcoin is going to get banned in China, whatever that means. I think
For sure.
nobody ever figured out what that even means, right? But yeah, so I think that's always, it's always great opportunity as well. And if you look at the infamous fear and greed barometer thing, that measures where do we stand right now, and you trust Warren Buffett's words, be greedy when others are fearful. Right now is a good time to be greedy, actually. Greedy with strong fundamentals, especially, right?
Yeah.
But I think it also makes sense, like we were saying, Bitcoin is right now trading at 40, how much is it? 45% below all-time high. So that's a 45% discount, right? 40%,
Mhm.
something like that. So, and yeah, Bitcoin is still king in many metrics, in many ways. So it might be the first to bounce. But what are some other coins that you're looking at? I know you talk a lot about interoperability projects. You're a fan of Hedera Hashgraph, so am I. One Chain, I've heard you talk about MetaHash. What are your favorite coins right now, and what are you looking to accumulate more of, without obviously giving financial advice?
Yeah, no financial advice, guys. But right now, I mean, obviously Bitcoin. I mean, the whole intent's not to hold Bitcoin forever. It's to get that initial surge up before alts start following, and then I'll look to like divest that into smaller alts. So like obviously, if you want to like a pretty easy play, like it's ETH, right? That's the hierarchy flowing down, right? But that's boring, right? Everyone says ETH. So like alts I'm looking at, I like Uniland Finance right now,
Mm,
U- UFT, right? That's actually a coin that Crypto Secret Circle put me onto, and it's just it's like 70 cents now. Went to $4.70. Like I'm looking for blood in those little coins, stuff
mm,
like that. Um, I'm also looking at more Cosmos. I mean, I like interoperability. It
mm,
wouldn't be like me to not buy projects of interoperability. Depends on more how much WAN chain drops. I'm looking to get into that.
yeah,
Um, ICX isn't at a bad spot right now. Uh, Dent, like, just look at my live streams. There's a bunch of them.
yeah,
Just they were hurting then. Now they're hurting even more now. So yeah, I could go on and on all day about different coins. I'm looking to get persistence, XPRT, which is
mm.
I believe Cosmos coin. Um, what else? Hmm.
That's a good list already, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just
For,
naming them
for,
off.
for people to also do their homework on,
How
Um,
about Ecami? Ecami's bleeding. You know.
Economy? Yeah, they came out of nowhere. I've seen them, like, I think they did a whole rebranding thing.
Mm.
Was it that? And suddenly they were in the top 100, and but now I don't know where they're trading. But might.
Oh, it's bleeding hard. It's almost back down to where it blasted off from.
So how do you see the second half of the year? Right now we're in end of May. June is coming. So how do you see the whole market's developing? Do you think there's another crazy alt season coming? Do you think any kind of like macro event that might trigger another crypto cycle, crypto FOMO cycle? Or what do you think is going to happen in the second half of the year?
Yeah, so I think that like okay, so in the last cycle after summer, it was after summer, we had a big drawdown in crypto in general. Like it didn't just go into Bitcoin, it exited the market. Um, and then it kind of Ethereum winded like sideways in a triangle pattern for like 4 months. Then we had a blow off. I think the time's not exactly like lining up, but I think something similar is going to happen like that. I mean, we're obviously having a big exodus of liquidity right now.
Mm,
Um, but I mean, just look at what the smart money's doing. What is MicroStrategy doing? Don't look at Tesla. I think they're confused right now. But just look at MicroStrategy, look at Novogratz. I mean, Winklevosses are tweeting out all the time. They're buying the dip.
yeah.
It's probably going to trend sideways. Make sure it's stable, and then slowly grind higher. That's what you want to see is the grind higher, and it'll probably be pretty hard to break above. When I say Bitcoin break above that, what was the top 65,000, I believe.
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
But then just like in March 2020, we couldn't get above 10,000 for the longest time.
Mm,
And then the buy pressure just outweighed the sell and bang, shot up. So that's what I'm expecting, another blow off.
Mm,
that Bitcoin will lead, and then alts will follow, and then Bitcoin will probably do exactly what it did earlier, which is hover,
mm,
sit suspended, and then that will be another big altcoin season that I'm betting on, because there's too many large cap coins that Grayscale has a trust in that aren't above their all time highs
mm.
or even close. Bitcoin Cash, EOS, um, I mean ETC's killing it. Never mind. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, stuff like that. Just large caps, like they have no business being on the bottom because there's a lot of really rich people who are investing in it. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like it's not done.
Yeah, feels very similar. I think also, if you look on a technical roadmap, especially for Ethereum, there's still so many fundamental changes and updates coming that might even single-handedly trigger that DeFi season that we all want, right? Because right now, I haven't checked today or yesterday, like how much it is to transact or to swap, but I guess it's absolutely ridiculous right now. I think I saw screenshots with in the hundreds, three, four, 500s, just to make a single swap, which is completely nuts, right?
Yeah.
No one's
Yeah.
using DeFi right now. Everyone's scared because of the Tesla FUD, China FUD, your IRS FUD, and whatnot. But I think, like I said, the technical roadmap of Ethereum has a lot of cool things coming up. And I think most of the retail people don't even know that, right? They know Shiba Inu, they know Dogecoin, they don't know about
Yeah.
EIP 1559, they don't know about optimistic rollup integrations, they don't know about Uniswap version 3 that's going to also soon implement rollups. Like there's still so much cool things in the pipeline that I think we're not really done yet. I think we are, like, from my view, like 60-70% maybe through that cycle, maybe a bit more. But also that whole crash now probably delays it for another 6 to 8 or 10 weeks. So maybe that we can really go towards the end of, I don't know, September, October, maybe even November, before we really have hit the top. And I think, from my view at least, Bitcoin 6 digits should be in it, or ETH 5 digits. I think those are numbers that I think are very realistic. But of course, it might also never come, right? It might also not come. It might only come in 5 years from now. We don't know that. But I'm also very much in it for the long run. I don't, yeah, the thing is, the bottom line is, if you get stuck and caught up in your daily portfolio volatilities and movements, you get completely crazy, man. It's mental warfare. It's literally
Yeah.
psychological war, and it
Yeah.
really gets you wrecked. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna jump in real quick. Yeah, you brought up China. Hey guys, it's not the first time China started fudding. China FUDs all the time. Okay,
yeah,
they're the master fudders. That's what brought down the 2017 bull run.
yeah.
China and India coming out same time, and now they're doing it again. And this is not the first time the IRS talked about crypto. That
Mm,
happened last cycle too. So like, as you're in crypto, you notice that, hold up, wait, this seems familiar, and you know how it played out before.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I'm of the opinion that the next blow off is going to be pretty historic, because the first one was kind of anemic. It wasn't very impressive in my mind because we had so many alts on the lows. We still do,
yeah. True.
So like, I don't know what it's gonna take to break that FUD sentiment, but what I would tell you is every cycle it reaches a new fever pitch.
Mm, yeah,
And
agree.
every single cycle people were doubtful, just like everyone is now.
Mm,
So like, just looking at that psychological pattern, we're kind of playing into that cycle. Well, Dub Digital, everyone's fearful. Yeah, well, they're always fearful in crypto. Sorry, it's always a risk and a gamble, right? So
yeah, it's emotional play in the end of the
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
It's also, I mean, the thing is also, what crypto does is, it's a very simple and easy way how you can, get in. It's very easy to get in. It's very easy to put in money and to put into crypto. I remember, like, before crypto, I was trading a little bit. I was very young, but I was just trading with stocks a little bit, right?
Mhm.
And to open a broker account on a bank or whatever, you have to actually fill papers. Can you believe that? and nowadays you can just sign up an account on Kraken and if you have whatever, family member, or if you're even under 18, right, and you have a family member, or you have a friend, it's so easy to get started there, and it's so easy to download Blockfolio and track your earnings or your losses every single day, right? So I think it's also much faster. It's also changing the whole, how do you invest, investing world, right? And we've seen it also with Robinhood and the whole Wall Street bets guys. Like that's kind of like the similar train that we're on in crypto. And I think, yeah, it is definitely the future. I think it's still, like you were saying very at the beginning of the video, it's still very unregulated. There's still a lot of questions that needs to be answered. There's still a lot of regulatory things that needs to be clarified. But on the long run, I see this, and I want to emphasize this a lot in this video, because I know there's a lot of new people joining the crypto space who might have been convinced by some friend or some family member about, man, this Bitcoin thing is actually cool, but now they're kind of like disappointed because they lost money with it, or with Shiba Inu, with Dogecoin, and they're disappointed with Elon. But guys, this is like, in the long run, this is a whole new financial or monetary economy that we're building, and the Web3 era with peer-to-peer networks, right? I think we should keep reminding people about that, because to me, at least, that's super exciting. I know for you as well, because you talk a lot about it in your channels and really care about, bringing this into people's heads, because that's what it's all about in the end of the day, at least from my view. So
yeah, I agree. Guys, crypto wasn't started by Elon. Crypto wasn't started by Novogratz. Crypto was started by Satoshi after the financial crisis of 2008. It was for a reason, to give us an alternative from the traditional banking system. Because the traditional banking system has been failing us. That's exactly why people early in crypto, they know this. So that's why people kind of like, they get feverish when they talk about crypto, people who join early on, because it's kind of like semi-personal. If you grew up with the was it the Wall Street, sorry, I forgot what it's called. It was like not Wall Street bets. It was the Occupy Wall Street movement.
Oh yeah.
Remember all that? Yeah. And in the financial crisis, we didn't have a alternative. Well, now we do. That's what crypto is. And it's very glorified. You're correct with making money, and it's good. People make money and become financially independent. But the reason it's here isn't because of any of that.
Yeah.
So if you believe and understand that ethos and understand the freedom it could provide people and humanity over the world, then that's why crypto doesn't die.
Yeah.
That's why it keeps coming back.
Yeah, man. Cool. I like that. I like those episodes. I think we should do that more and more. But considering the attention span of the crypto people, especially on days like that, I think actually on days when everything goes down, people want to hear more of those kind of things, because they seek hope. So, but yeah, man, I think we can wrap it up. And I thank you for your time. If there's any final words, and also please tell the people how they can find you, obviously on YouTube and Twitter. But if you have anything else that you want to share, and also your text, and yeah, please share that.
For sure. Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's always a great time talking. You always learn a lot. You guys can follow me at Dub Digital on YouTube. Just type it in, should come up, all one word. Also on Twitter, it's Dub Digital with 2 U's, and at Dub Digital with 2 U's. And then also you can find me on Odyssey in case YouTube wants to kick me off for whatever reason. You can find me there. And you get paid in crypto, LBC. So
that's a very cool thing. Yeah, I like that. I think it's good. I should probably start that as well, to use one of those platforms, because yeah, you never know, man. We had this purchase on YouTube many times now, but you never know when it happens again. So that's cool, man. I'll leave all the links under this video, and then people can just find you in a click. So yeah, man, thanks again for your time. Stay safe, and yeah, I hope we'll get back up with the market soon.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Take care, man.